Hi, thank you so much for speaking with me today. So everybody, this is Mike. He is across the waters, I believe based in USA, right?
Yes, I am in the state of
I've never been, so there's me just like, yeah. Anywhere in America, yeah.
I get a chance to come. I hope you get a chance to come.
Oh, it's on the cards. It's literally on the cards. I've been meaning to try for the past couple of years, but I'm planning to like do America like for at least a month, so I get to hit different states. I believe you guys call it. I was about to say cities,
Yeah,
but I'm sure it's states.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
So it's on the cards. Hopefully soon, once COVID dies down and everywhere's okay, then yeah, I definitely will.
I
But
would love to meet you in person. It would be so much fun.
oh hell
Sure.
yeah. I can just imagine all the fun we would be getting up to and all the shoots we get to do as well. I'd be like, oh my God, I got somebody else in my shoots. Oh goodness. Right. So I want to hear all about your hosiery journey and what hosiery means to you. And just to sort of say, just for obviously yourself and everybody else who's watching, I wanted to create this safe, open environment for everybody just to share their journey and share their little world, and just so we get an insight and hopefully you'll like inspire loads of other people. So yeah, literally the floor is all yours. So I'd love to hear more about you and about your journey and everything that's in that.
Awesome. Awesome. I don't mind at all. Whew, it all started basically from when I was a baby. Um I'm from Taiwan, so my parents when I was a baby they used to um put tights on because when it was cold outside, that's kind of how it started. But it pretty much I did that. I wore tights all the way, like kids tights all the way until I was about first grade,
Yeah.
and I grew out of it. That's kind of where it stopped.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so then I want to say about fifth grade,
Okay.
fifth or sixth grade. Um, there was a sixth grade actually. I had a one specific teacher that you could call it like a schoolboy crush or whatever. And so she wore sheer tights like all the time. So um let's see, there was one day like there was a whole after school thing. Basically my parents, I'm sure we're both Asian, but
Mm-hmm.
being very good at school is kind of really important to
Yeah.
us. So my parents had worked out with her like an after school thing with like tutoring and stuff. So randomly one day she had me when we got finished, she had me start printing out some worksheets for the day for tomorrow. And in one of her desk drawers, she had like three brand new on open packs of tights
No way.
that were just in her drawer
Oh
with her
wow.
boxes of papers. So she asked me to go in there to just grab a couple of papers to put in the printer. So I went over there, grabbed the papers, and I opened the drawer and I see these like three tights, and I was just like, okay. So she keeps some of them in there and grabbed the paper. And so me and her, we always had a pretty good like a relationship. So um after seeing that, I kind of started hinting to her like, you know, I'm I have I have a not a fetish, but like a appreciation for tights. And it basically went back to when I was a kid.
Yeah.
So then I had a chance one day to go to the mall with a couple of friends and their parents and stuff. They took us to the mall, and I was able to sneak away into the hosiery department because I remember the brand that she had in her drawer. So I figured, like if she wore them, I want to know what those how
Yeah.
that how that brand felt, like
Yeah.
how it was. So I went up, went into the hosiery department and went up there and just bought the 3 packs that she had, and basically went home and just tried it on for the first time, and like like a sheer tights trying it on for the first
Mhm.
time. So just tried it on, and I was just like, wow, it brings me back to like kind of like a safe place, like
Yeah.
it's thing I feel comfortable in
Yeah.
because I guess I was a kid, I wore it all the time. So that's that's where it went. So that's how it kind of started. Um,
Wow.
then slowly, as I got as I went into high school, I there were a few girls. There were these like couple of girls that I was really good friends with. So they started dressing up more adult like and started
Mhm.
wearing tights, sheer tights and all kinds of stuff. So I was friends with them. So I didn't tell them that I was into tights, but we would just have conversations, and I would randomly find out like through conversation like what brand of tights they were wearing, and so I would go out and just buy the same ones and try it out. And some of it stems from, because they were trying different
Mhm.
colors and different patterns and stuff. And so I was like, oh, let me try those out. Let me try those out,
Yeah.
So I was like, oh, so this specific brand feels this way, and how well it lasts, and so forth. And so yeah, that's
Wow.
where it kind of all started for me.
That is
And
crazy.
yeah, and then yeah, so it from there, I would just randomly go into the hosiery departments at the department stores or at pharmacies, and I would just randomly start buying different
Yeah.
tights, try on and see how they felt basically, and how quality wise, and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
I was just wanted to ask you, because you mentioned obviously you would go in and go buy them, whichever, whether it's a pharmacy or department store or anything, because I know a lot of men feel uncomfortable doing that because they would think, oh, okay, am I being judged? And what, like, was it okay for you to go and do, I mean, did you just happily walk in and be like, I don't care? Or was you quite like, oh, okay, oh, is anyone looking kind of thing? Like, I just want to hear your experience in that because it's really interesting.
The first time it felt weird. The first time I was being stared at, and I could tell from the clerk that they were kind of judgy, and
Right.
I didn't really at first, like I was kind of like, what should I tell them if they're gonna ask? And the clerk, I could tell, was judgmental, but didn't say anything to me, didn't
Mm,
ask. So just made the purchase, walked out, and so I was quite surprised. That was the first time. The second time I went, I was the clerk did ask me,
oh,
and basically I just said, I jokingly I said, yeah, they're for me, and just trying on different things, and she kind of looked at me and was like, ha ha ha, it's a joke. It's probably for your mom or something, or for your sister.
Oh, okay.
I was like, oh, okay. I thought I was telling the truth, but they didn't believe me. So, and
Oh
yeah,
God.
quite a few times where I actually told them, I said, joking,
Mm,
joking way, I told them that it was for me, and most of the the people that were working there just thought it was for someone else, or
yeah.
for. But yeah, I've never. The only time I felt uncomfortable was the first time. The
Mm,
second, pretty much after that, I just walked in there, didn't care. If they wanted to be judgmental, then let them be. Like, I didn't care. I
no, fair
wanted.
enough. I like that. I like that confidence. And obviously, I know it would have definitely been hard the first time, because I know by hearing other people's experiences, they have that whole, oh my God, am I going to be judged? What are people going to think? But then I suppose some people pass it off like, oh, I'm buying it for my wife, or some people are like, no, it's for me, and what? So it's just nice just to hear someone else's view on it, to be fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I am kind of reserved. Like, but I just felt like I was already going in. I'm gonna
Mm,
be more of a women's environment, or based at the. So I figured, you know what? I'm just gonna go in, and I'm not gonna
yeah.
care. Gonna do what I have to do, and
Do your thing.
yeah.
I love
You-
it. I absolutely love it. So can I ask you, so do you know, obviously you've said you've been trying hosiery for a good amount of years now. Is it something that you still, not even still, is it something that you hide and, like, for instance, wear underneath clothing because you're a bit like, oh, okay, I'm still a little bit reserved? Or is it something that you embrace and you're like, I'm wearing hosiery and what? Or are you kind of in between? Just because obviously, once again, I speak to a lot of people. I have two extremes. I have somewhere it's like, no, I don't show it off. And I've got somewhere it's like, I fully embrace it. My legs are out, I'm wearing patterns, I'm like all over it. So I just wanted to hear, like, your experience in that.
for the most part, I still kind of hide it a little bit. I usually wear it under jeans and stuff, not all the time. But usually is for when it's like super cold.
Hmm.
Um, because it gets pretty hot around here.
Yeah.
So during the summertime, I don't wear it as much. In the springtime, I have worn it a few times.
Hmm.
Actually with shorts, and for the most part, most people don't even notice it. Like,
Oh, wow.
but for the most part, I did wear like skin colors, skin
Oh,
tone.
okay. Yeah. Yeah.
So for the most part, most people didn't even realize it, and didn't even nothing. Like, no, I thought maybe somebody would ask,
Yeah.
be interested to know, but most people never even noticed. So I was like, okay, okay,
Why not?
sure.
No, fair enough. I mean, because I know some people, like, especially women as well. I've got a good couple of girlfriends where they hate wearing hosiery. That if they need to, they'll wear something that is skin color, that's barely there. So you're talking 10 denier or less, and they're like, I want it to be as bare as possible. And it's like, okay, that's fine. Like, you do you. I'm completely the opposite. I'm like, I want people to see, but
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah. But it's crazy though, because normally, I mean, just I'm saying this in the sense of, not trying to sound bad, but a typical person, because people are
Hmm.
going to be like, because I know some people are like, yeah, but if it's a guy, wouldn't you see their hair? Like, if they've got tight, like, for instance, when I post feedback and you've got some men who embrace their, obviously, their furry legs, and there's loads of people like, yeah, but shouldn't you shave when you wear hosiery and stuff? And I just wanted to, not even me really, because it's just always interesting to talk about, but I know a lot of people who are going to be watching this, I know that's always on their mind, because it always end up asking me that, to ask like my buyers that, to be like, can you ask them, like, what was that like why would you wear tights with like hairy legs, why wouldn't you shave your legs? So I just wanted to ask, like, what's it like for you?
Um, I'm fairly like I don't my legs are slightly hairy, but not really
Not,
hairy.
yeah.
I it actually doesn't feel that bad. Like I you know, and so I I have tried once by shaving my legs to try
Mm.
it out, and it actually, to me, it felt weird being
Oh,
hairy
okay.
wearing tights. Like I was like,
Yeah.
so I just leave it be and let it let it do its
Oh,
let
yeah. Be natural, be free. No, I totally understand that. I just wanted to ask, because I know some people end up asking me after, be like, oh, could you like ask him if you could, like, please. So I thought I'd just ask that question. Um, I was gonna oh God, I was gonna ask you something. It's completely gone out of my head now. It was literally on that vibe. Oh, it's gone. I can't even think it's gone. It's just completely gone.
but I wanted to say I have worn like really thick tights that like you can't see through at all, like
Oh
a
yeah.
hundred in here. Um during the wintertime with like running shorts,
Oh
kind
yeah.
of like legging kind of.
Mm.
And so most people that see me do that didn't even, they just thought I was wearing like leggings, and didn't even, and again, like nobody nobody seems to ask me about it. Like I think some people wanted to, they weren't
Yeah.
sure. But for the most part, yeah, just most people don't say a word to me. So,
Well, fair enough then. Fair
but
enough.
always like thinking like, what should I tell them? Like if they're gonna ask me, but then
Yeah.
nobody ever says a word to me. So it is what it is.
It's suppose it's a nice thing though as well, isn't it? It's like, because I've noticed when I've been with friends, and when I've seen like guys wear hosiery in the UK, and I like
Mhm.
kind of like I'll purposely walk behind them just to see, like, let me see people's reaction. You get some, it's like, what's he doing? And you get somewhere it's like, oh, okay, yeah, yeah. And then you get some people like, oh, where did you get those from? And I'm like, oh, I did not expect that. I expected them to like sort of say like, oh, what you doing? But it's interesting. Everyone's perception is really, really interesting when it comes to hosiery. That's
Yeah,
why I love watching it. When I see people wearing hosiery, it's like I'll deliberately be like, oh, okay, like let me see what happens here.
yeah, yeah. Well, I know a couple years ago I went to New York City.
Hmm.
Um, there was a few people that I saw on the street. Some of the men were wearing tights and stuff, like sheer tights that were like black and stuff.
Hmm.
I did notice it a few times, and um walking down the street, I did notice some people kind of give weird stares, but for the
Hmm.
part, it was kind of, I would say probably about 80% of the people just were minding their own business. Then you touch
Yeah.
it, and then maybe about 10% gave them stares, and then the other 10% kind of looked, but didn't really care and just kept doing their own thing. So
Hmm.
yeah.
I mean, you know what? Saying that, it makes me think. Um, okay, I can't form it into a sentence. I'll give you an example. So, prime example, London. You think, because it's in a sense the capital, and you think, um, oh, fashion flies in London. Like, you think of London, Paris, Milan, all those fashion capitals, and you think it goes. If you see a guy wearing a skirt, tights, heels, and you think that's fashion, or he's a model, or he's something, I kind of get like, I'm not too sure what your view might be like on it, but I feel like that could fly in London. However, every other city in the UK, if you try to do that, I think it'll be a completely different perspective and a completely different ball game. They'll probably look at you thinking, "What the hell are you doing?" So I'm just thinking, would it be different in the different states? Like thinking like New York City, like, oh my God, it's always heaving, always buzzing. So it could be, in a sense, fashion capital, anything goes. So it might be more accepted compared to, say, I can't even think of any states. Oh my God, I've even sent off parcels today to the USA, to all these different states. I can't even think of any. But do you see what I mean? Like, I wonder if it is slightly different.
It be I mean, where I live, for the most part, it most people are pretty open to different
Mm,
ideas, and um there are some places around here that are, people are pretty conservative,
mm,
and but for the most part, most people around here are pretty open. I mean, there are definitely places in in the States that I definitely would say that if somebody was dressed like that, people would definitely be like, what in
yeah,
the heck is this person doing?
yeah.
Just, yeah. But in the cities, I would say probably most people would not care,
Mm,
and really just trying to go about their day. And because I know, like, I go to New York a lot, New York City a lot, most people are like, I gotta get to work, or I gotta get to this
yeah.
place. Everything else
Like, I don't
is,
care what you wear, get out of my way.
yeah. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
No,
So
fair enough. So let me ask you just a question leading on from that. So do you think the stigma that's around men and hosiery could ever disappear? Because I always like asking this question because everybody has a different perception of it. And even when I've had this conversation with a couple of my close friends, some will be like, yeah, of course. Some will be straight up no. And I'll be like, "Oh, God, you said that so quickly. Why? Why are you saying no? Like, give me an explanation." But it's always interesting to see someone else's view. So do you think it would ever disappear or could ever disappear?
I think it will. I think it will. Um, the reason I say that is, there's been a few times, obviously, that I've worn it, and not many people, like I said, not many people said anything to me. Now, some people may have noticed, I don't know, but I'm starting to notice, like, brands and stuff that are gearing tights towards men.
Mm,
Um, there's also in a lot of sports, for example, in the U.S., that a lot of men wear tights underneath to keep from chafing and stuff like that.
mm,
So I think it will. And there are also a lot of tights out there that provide a lot of support, especially for, like, if somebody's on their feet all day.
mm,
So for some of them, for some of the men that have work where they're on their feet all day, I think for those people, if they try it out, I think, it would be quite surprising how much
mm,
support and comfort there is behind those types of tights and stuff.
mm. No, I agree with you there. I really do agree with you there. Because I suppose it is a lot of men wouldn't try, and I obviously say this because I've spoken to some people who have obviously shared their views about the fact that they would never wear hosiery because they find it's too feminine, or like, I don't know, I'd feel too restricted, or oh my God, like, why would I? Like, I've even had that reaction. I was like, don't give me that reaction. Do you know who you're talking to? I was like, I love them. But Yeah, but it's like how you said, there is, I suppose there is a range, and there are very many brands that are now making it more um gender equal, so it is both men and women can enjoy the same pairs, even though they might gear it slightly differently for men in terms of different kind of support, especially for the male autonomy bit. But yeah, it is. Yeah, I do agree with you there in terms of the different types that they can be for men. And
Yeah.
I really do hope the stigma does disappear one day. You know, it'll be nice just for people just to be comfortable. I just feel like people should
Yeah.
just be comfortable in their own skin and dress how they want to dress at
I,
the
I
end of
I
the day.
say this, like going back to when I was in sixth grade, when I did tell when I eventually did tell like my teacher, um, and she was okay with it. She was just kind of like, you do you. Like, I mean, if you're comfortable and you want to wear it, I'm
Mm,
not gonna be judgmental, and I'm not gonna, that's you, you know. Now, she was a little uncomfortable, like when I told her that I got the matching brands that she was wearing. But
mm,
other than that, she was okay with it. She was just like, whatever, do whatever you want to do, whatever you're comfortable with.
yeah,
So
that
yeah,
to be
but
fair, that's really nice,
yeah,
actually. The fact that she
yeah,
said that, because I can imagine a lot of people just be like, really, why? And you'd be like, don't question me. Like, I want to do what I want to do. But it's really nice the fact that she actually did come out saying, do you know what? Yeah, you do you. And it's
yeah,
entirely up to you what you wish to do.
yeah. I was, I remember when I first like thinking like maybe I should tell her about it, because for a long time I would make jokes with her about, she leaving her tights in her drawer and
Mm,
stuff. So so it was kind of leading up to it. But
yeah.
uh, yeah, I remember like I was afraid, like, should I tell her? Is that something, but when I did, she just seemed, she was okay with it. I think, I mean, she definitely, I do appreciate her a lot, because she did, she was pretty open-minded and didn't judge me, and didn't say anything.
Yeah.
So I appreciate it. So, and she definitely helped me along the path. And same thing with you, trying out different brands and stuff. So yeah,
Thank
I
you.
hoping hoping the stigma
Mm.
will go away. So
Yeah, well, fingers crossed to that. I really hope it does. Because it's just, I sort of see it as well, if women can wear whatever, like for instance, prime example, like I remember when I was going through my phases as a teen, like I went through tomboy mode, I went through a punk mode, a goth mode, I went through wearing like guys clothes because it was so comfy. And it is just, well, if girls can do that, like there should be a safe space for guys too as well. I mean, yes, obviously people are going to judge, that's just obviously what people do, but it's one of those, at least you get to, it's like you're trying out new things, but and finding out what's for you, what's right for you, how do you feel comfortable. And it's, yeah, I
yeah,
do feel like there should be more of that for men out there. If there can be for women, I feel like there should be for men too. And not
yeah,
just, oh, because you're a cross-dresser or you're a transgender or however you identify, it could just be for straight males as well. Like, I'm a
yeah,
straight male, I've got a girlfriend or a wife and kids, but I want to be able to, do something different.
yeah, of
So
course.
no, I totally agree. So,
I,
oh, sorry, go on.
I'm gonna say I do know, there is a person that I know. He also enjoys wearing tights, and I think they were him. It's his wife now, but at the time they were dating, and I think he when he told her, she wasn't uncomfortable with it at first, but
Mm,
then after realizing, like, for him it's not a, I think in her mind when she first found out, because she had talked to me about it,
mm,
was she thought it was like a fetish thing. And I kind of explained to her, because she also knew that I wore them. So I explained to her, like, it's not, this isn't like, I'm not doing it for, and I explained to her the backstory, which is, as a kid I wore it, and it's a it's like a safe space. It's comfortable to me.
Yeah.
So it's, he has a different backstory. I've never asked him about it,
Mm,
but I told her, I said, you should probably talk to him, like actually talk to him about it,
yeah.
like, and go from there, and get a better understanding. And that's what I hope most people, like, just because somebody wears something, don't judge them.
Yeah. Yeah.
Just if you're interested, or if you want to know why they wear what it is that they're wearing, just ask them. And you never know, you might make a really good friendship out of it. and
Yeah.
and like, why be judgmental?
Yes,
Yeah.
exactly, exactly. And to be fair, that's one of the reasons like why I'm trying to do this with my brand, because it's not just, oh look, I'm selling hosiery. It's actually get to experience something different. It's no one here is gonna, I mean, I'm trying to get rid of any judgmentalness. That's the first and foremost, is we don't want that here. But it's just a way of trying something new, but being being open to it. And even if you don't get it, because I know I've spoken to a lot of people where it's like, why do you do this? I don't understand. It's like, you don't need to understand. It's just be open to the fact that there are people, who love it, who are starting their journeys, who are kind of experimenting. Is it for them? Is it not for them? And it is
Yeah.
just, you don't have to be, I feel like you don't have to be accepting. I feel like you've just got to have an open mind, the fact that that's somebody's choice.
Mhm.
And yeah, leave it at that. You don't need to have an opinion. You don't need to be passing any judgment like, ew, why are you doing that for? It just leave
Yeah.
it, like,
Yeah. Like, I'm sure there are, we we as human beings, obviously, we're judgmental,
mm,
of course, but we can, that's something people can always put aside. We don't have, like you said, we don't have to be accepting of it, but we can get better understanding
mm,
of, and just leave it at that.
yeah,
If you don't accept it, that's fine. But, or if you don't want to try it, that's fine. But
mm,
just understand from my point of view why I do what I do. And
yeah,
that's it. Yeah.
yeah. No, I totally get it. Yeah, and it's very well put. Yeah, very well put, I have to say. So I know like we're running out of time slowly, but I just want to ask you one final question. So,
Okay.
and this is something I'm going to be doing with everybody as well, just because I love hearing what people say. So, if you could leave a message for the people watching, what would your message be?
Um, if you're men, give it a try. Tights, sheer tights, stockings, whatever you want to try, give it a try. It's for me, on my as far as I'm concerned, for me, it's for comfort. It's not anything sexual or fetish or whatever it is. But if that's what they're, if somebody is into it for that, that's fine too. But just, if you want to try it, or if you want to wear it, or if you want to get in touch with your feminine side, that's fine too. But yeah, definitely give it a try. It's super comfortable.
Yeah, I'll totally agree on that one. But no,
Yeah,
thank you so much for sharing that. I really do
Sony,
appreciate it.
just make sure you get Sony's brand.
I see, I can't say nothing because I want to be biased and be like, well, of course.
Yeah, I unfortunately, I haven't given you a review on your tights, but I have tried it, and I've worn it a few times. I'm trying not to wear it too much, just because I have kind of like pretty jagged nails
Oh
often.
yeah, yeah.
I don't want to ruin them. I try to be as careful with them as much as I can, but they are super, super, super comfortable.
Oh, thank you. I'm so glad you like them. I'm so glad you like them. I really
Yeah,
do appreciate that.
no problem. Anytime, anytime.
Oh, thank you. Right, well, I know we're going to be out of time soon, but thank you so much for coming on here and sharing your experience. I know obviously this will make loads of other people happy, not just me, but everybody who's hopefully everybody who's watching. But hopefully I'll get to see you on here soon. But
Yes.
thank you so, so much. And take
No
care and
problem.
be safe.
You too.
All
Thank you.
right. See you later. Bye.
Bye.